Welcome to the wonderful world of dance, bringing you exclusive interviews with top dancers and choreographers and reviews of the world's best companies across the globe. You can find lots more on our website at thewonderfulworldofdance.com.
Hi, this is Savannah Saunders from The Wonderful World of Dance, and today I am so thrilled to introduce the incredible Herman Cornejo, who is the principal dancer of the American Ballet Theatre, which many people, of course, will already know. So excited to be talking to him as he's just been awarded Dancer of the Year at this year's prestigious Positano Premia la Danza, which is an incredible award ceremony and prestigious award that occurs every year and has actually been bestowed upon many distinguished artists in the past, including Margot Fonteyn, Rudolf Nureyev, Carla Fracci, and more recently, Alicia Alonso, Natalia Osipova, and the list is endless. I've been to Positano for this glamorous event. And essentially, Positano is this beautiful seaside Italian village in the Amalfi Coast, which has almost like jewel-like coloured buildings falling down the mountainside into the ocean. And the world's best dancers come together for one night and perform on the stage on the beach, and they're awarded their awards at a quite a glamorous ceremony. And this year, as I mentioned, Herman has been awarded the Dancer of the Year. So let's say hello and let's hear all about this incredible award. Hi, Herman, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm really excited to be talking to you ahead of the award ceremony, which I hear you're going to be flying over to Italy to receive. Is that right?
That's correct. It will happen on September 1st. So I'll be flying because I have a festival in Los Angeles right before that. So I'll be flying back home to New York to change my luggage and straight into Italy to get the prize.
So sounds like you're very much the jet setter, flying all over the place. But tell me, what does this award mean to you?
Well, I always find awards are kind of like a reward for what you've been doing throughout the years. I don't think awards make you a better dancer, but it's always very nice to be recognized. And this year especially is very special to me because I celebrate 20 years with American Ballet Theatre. And so, it's a great timing for me to be receiving this prize.
Absolutely. 20 years is an incredible achievement, and what a wonderful career to have with such an astounding company. But before we talk about the last 20 years, let's sort of go back and think about and talk about your life growing up in Argentina, which is where you're originally from. You grew up and studied dance in Buenos Aires. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's correct. I started actually in ice skating, believe it or not.
Really?
Down in South America. Yes, when I was 6 years old. And that was my own decision. My parents took me to a place to choose from karate to soccer and many other sports, and I chose to do roller skating and ice skating. And it was just a feeling in my body that I needed to move in a certain way.
That's quite a unique choice, isn't it, for a very young boy in Buenos Aires to be thinking about ice skating. And how did that lead you to ballet?
Well, my sister started earlier when she was 3 years old. And so by the time I started ice skating, my sister was already doing ballet. And I will always go to pick up my sister with my mom. And I will see her in the studio. And I think I just fell in love with the music in the studio, the piano. And I think also the fact that she was there, I guess I also wanted to be doing what she was doing. And so at the age of 8, I told my parents that I wanted to do ballet. And, it was at the beginning, it was a bit of a shock for them. because I was very shy at school. I never wanted to do any school presentations. But when I said what I wanted to do, it was more the shock of because I was shy, but not because I wanted to be a ballet dancer. And they supported me from the beginning.
And you've ended up moving from Buenos Aires, and you studied at the School of American Ballet. Tell us about your experience of moving when you were quite young.
Well, I did my school in Buenos Aires, and then my teachers applied to come to do a summer program, a summer course at the SAB here in New York, in which I got in. And I came only for the summer, for a month and a half. I was 14 years old. And in that moment, the school wanted me to stay, but at the same time, I received a call from Julio Boca that had organized a small group, a small company in Argentina for young dancers. And he wanted me to join his company. So for me, it was quite difficult to choose from leaving studies, stop in a way being in school for dance, and join in a way a professional company, because Julio, as such a big star, he really put dancers that could dance, and we were doing difficult things. But I think, again, because my sister was already in that company, I decided to join Julio Boca's company and to be with my sister. And I think it was a great choice, actually, to be next to Julio.
And tell us about that experience. How many years were you with the ballet company?
With the Ballet Argentino was for 2 years, and we did all 5 continents, which was incredible. And I remember that halfway, like the second year in the company, we were doing this 3 months tour. And Julio, of course, started to get a bit tired, and they chose me to be the replacement for Julio for some performances. And that was just an incredible experience, because I was only 15 years old and already replacing Julio in some of the performances. And actually, through Julio, I knew American Ballet Theatre, and that's why ABT became my dream company, to, in a way, follow Julio's steps.
And how did you end up dancing with your dream company?
Well, Julio asked me to come and do here a special event for the Argentinian embassy. And with my sister, we flew to New York and did a tango parade for the embassies. And I said to Julio in that moment that I, in a way, wanted to follow his steps, and I wanted to audition for the company. And he was very happy with the decision to move from his, in a way, small company and join one of the biggest companies in the world. And I auditioned for ABT when I was only 16 years old, and with my sister, we both got in. And since then, I've been part of this family.
That is quite extraordinary to have been accepted into ABT at the age of 16. That must have been quite a step for you. As you say, you went from this very small, but obviously an excellent starting place in terms of your company in Argentina and Buenos Aires, to moving to New York and joining ABT. Tell us about that experience. That must have been crazy.
Yeah, especially because down in Argentina, we do have beautiful theater and a beautiful company, but unfortunately, the system of contracts that they have, dancers don't retire until they're 65 years old.
Oh.
And so at my time, there were really no space for new dancers. So all my generation had to leave. So it was a must. That after you finish school, you had to find your company elsewhere. And but anyway, my dream was to be at ABT, and that's what I wanted to do from the beginning. And it was, like you said, I was very lucky because I was very young. I guess after winning the gold medal in Moscow, that gave me a stronger position to audition for American Ballet Theatre. because again, for the competition in Moscow, I'm still the youngest to win that competition in the senior division.
That's
So
another quite an extraordinary achievement. Sorry about that. I was just saying that's another quite extraordinary achievement. It's a very, very prestigious and difficult competition.
It was, and I think the fact that I was very young and I was underage, I literally had no, I won't say nerves, but I wasn't planning to really win the competition. I was just trying to do my best, and I trained really hard for the competition. And all of a sudden, I was in the finals, and when the finals finished, and they said Herman Cornejo gold medal, I couldn't believe it. Because I was underage. I wasn't supposed to be in that competition, and winning the medal, it was my opening the door for what I am now.
You must have had the biggest smile on your face when they announced the gold medal for that competition.
It was truly, truly a dream. I was not expecting that. Actually, a Russian lady who organized a competition there didn't speak English, and we didn't speak English either. We spoke Spanish with my teacher. She knocked on the door of our hotel to tell us that I was winning the gold medal, indicating her ring on her hand that it was gold, and pointing at me like, "You won the gold medal." And it was really, like I said, I wasn't expecting that.
And this is what opened their doors at ABT. Did you join straight into quarter ballet, or where did you join the company?
I joined in 1998 when I was 17, the studio company, just for a few months. And then they passed me into the big company right away with an apprentice contract during the Met season of 98. And then in 99, they already gave me a core contract.
That's a very, very fast sort of change, isn't it?
It was fast, and I actually have a very particular story because when I was an apprentice and I did the Met season, the spring season, I was doing soloist roles. And right after the Met, the company was going on tour to Japan, and I was cast to do Bronze Idol. And Bronze Idol is already categorized as a principal role. So, I'm all there painted in gold, and they realized that with an apprentice contract, I couldn't do a principal role. So they right away had to pull up a core contract and made me sign before going on stage a core contract.
How amazing.
So it was really incredible. And then from then on, I was in the corps for only 1 year. I was promoted to soloist right away in 2000. And 3 years later, I was promoted to principal when I was only 22 years old.
And tell us about that moment when you were promoted to principal at the age of 22.
They're all just dreams, that they come true, and you push so hard to get them, and then when you get them, it's really unbelievable. It's such a relief that you're getting your goals. I had a little struggle here in the company because of my height to do principal roles, and I guess I'm very lucky to have Kevin Mackenzie as my director because he gave me the opportunity to be doing the lead roles, and in 3 years he promoted me. So really now I look back and see how much I pushed and I was nervous that I wanted to get those positions and those roles, and I can't think of any other company to be in right now.
Do you still remember your first debut performance as a principal?
Well, my first performance was doing the Nutcracker. That's always kind of the first role the company gives to start promoting you and pushing you. But after the Nutcracker, that is basically the basic principal role that you will get, my amazing experience was performing Don Quixote. And this role came after an injury of a friend. We were again on tour in Japan, and unfortunately my friend got injured. And he was partnering Xiomara Reyes, who at the time was the principal with ABT, and a very short dancer, so perfect for me. The only thing is that I only had 3 days to learn the whole role.
Oh my goodness.
Perform it. Which, when you're young, you don't think, you just do.
Yeah.
And I said to Kevin, I'll take the opportunity because this is my moment. I have to show what I can do. And so I learned the whole piece in 3 days. I put it on stage. And the beautiful part of this is that Julio Boca, he's my idol, not only because he's Argentinian, but he's an iconic male dancer. He did his final Don Quixote with ABT the day before I did my debut in this role. So for me, it was in a way kind of like passing the torch to me, because he was leaving ABT and I was the next Argentinian principal dancer in the company.
You give me chills.
Forever. I get chills every time I think of this story.
Literally, I just got a wave of chills through me. It's such a beautiful story, and I can see why that is so a real special moment for you. And you've gone on as a principal now. What is it? 15 years coming up to as a principal dancer. Yeah. With your dream company, having taken over that role. Looking back, though, over that 20 years, and you've just spoken about even a few special moments. Are there other real special moments or special performances or moments in the last 20 years that you look back and think, that was extraordinary? That really, for me, is memorable.
Well, I treasure every performance with my partners. They're all unique, and I love performing with all of them. But for some reason, of course, the performing with Alessandra Ferri was a special occasion when she was asked to do Romeo and Juliet, and she chose me to be her Romeo. That was really a highlight in my career, for what she means to the dance world. Yeah. And performing Romeo with her at ABT, and then because we felt so comfortable performing together, we started doing more things, and we did Romeo in Korea as well. And now we're just a couple that connect very well, and we're creating new productions just for us, which is beautiful.
And what do you think it is about your creative partnership that really works? Why do you think it works so well?
I don't know, because when I was asked to do, my first thing with Alessandra to do was Chérie. It was a play that we opened here in New York, and we actually took it to the Limbury Theatre at the Covent Garden a few years ago. And when we met in the studio, it was a first moment. We connected so well together, and we were shocked in a way how well we connected. In fact, it's a shame we don't have the same age to be dancing together the big full-length ballet, because we really feel a beautiful connection with each other. But we still manage to do things that are appropriate for us. And I think, that chemistry, it happens. You need to have it. It's hard to create it when you don't have it.
And she is such an extraordinary dancer. Absolutely. She's just astounding, isn't she?
It's incredible. I mean, when she retired from ABT and from the world in general, it was a loss not to have her on stage. And to see her come back after 8 years of not doing anything, it's just shocking. And the fact that, you know, how she's dancing right now, you can't believe that she actually took 6 years off.
It's quite breathtaking, isn't it?
Yeah, really incredible. And actually, she and Wendy Whelan, who is another American dancer, are opening a door for, and more than a door, actually, your view that a dancer's life can be longer if you're really smart in not only how to treat your body, but also in what things you can do at the age you are. I think a dancer can dance for longer if you're smart.
I think that's so important because, like you say, it is such a true monumental loss when these great artists feel that their time is up on stage. And, you know, when they've got such a dedicated and sort of admiring following who would just love every chance to see them dance, even in their latter years, doing different types of work. And so I think for audiences, be able to have or go to a platform that they're creating is just, I think, fantastic, really, really fantastic, because we want to see these dancers continue to dance. We want to enjoy their creative output and share that long journey with them. So I think it's just fantastic.
Yeah, it is, because, you know, sometimes often when you're in this career and you're in the peak of your talent, you think of doing the Don Quixote, the Swan Lake, but that's not all. There's so much more after the big full length. And the new creations in this case are as important and as beautiful. Like we just created After Ride with Wayne McGregor for American Ballet Theatre. And it was just, and I think it's going to be a masterpiece. We're going to do it again at the fall season now in October. And
he's
so
exceptional too.
He's really, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what do you, as an artist, what fulfills you? What makes you feel like you are continuing to grow and evolve?
I think every show, your next performance is, for me at least, my next performance is my goal. And, you know, to achieve a beautiful performance and to make the people who came to see you that night dream or go a place where never been before, or to feel something, either a laugh or cry. I think that fulfills me and gives me joy. And, you know, I wouldn't do this just because of the technique. I do this because I love acting and I love sharing those emotions with an audience. And I think this field gives you that opportunity to experience all that.
And you mentioned before you had some issues, I guess, with your height. But are there any other challenges that you have faced over the last 20 years? We've talked a lot about some of the highlights. Have there been other challenges that have come your way?
I guess, you know, the challenge for a male dancer is as well injuries, and to be able to recover from them, fully recover. It's something that you can't escape, especially when you're considered a technical dancer. And, you know, in my years as a soloist, I was given all of the jumping roles, and so you kind of push your body really, really hard to a limit that you end up injured a few times. And I have to say that I'm very lucky because I never had a surgery in my life. Now I'm 37 years old and never had a surgery. So all my injuries were, you know, taking 3 months, maybe the longest, to recover. But it is a challenge to go through them and to be able to be strong in your mind and knowing that you will be back stronger. And, you know, like I said before, maybe we think our ballet career is short, and we always try to push even harder and try to recover even faster. But in those moments, you need to be really smart and focused that you need to recover 100% before coming back. So I guess those are the challenge as a male dancer that you need to go through.
And you mentioned you're 37, 20 years with ABT, 15 as a principal dancer, and talking about longevity of dance careers. Have you started thinking what might be next for you? Obviously, you've got a good few years left in you yet, but have you thought about what the future looks like?
Not really. I mean, I do think that my roles are going to be changing, of course, and taking a different road from the classics. But honestly, I was very worried when I turned 30 what I was going to do next.
Really?
And now that I'm 37, I'm like, I feel great. I never felt better. And I honestly think that I have 10 more years. Maybe that's a bit too much, but that's how I feel right now. Very strong in my body, very strong mentally. And I guess all the experience that you get through the years, at this moment, it's a confident moment where you know what to do with your body, to treat it better, to dance better, and to feel better. So my view for now is to keep dancing the best I can in the full length, and of course the new creations. I was just created a new piece by Justin Peck, and it was my debut with sneakers on stage.
Really?
And all these new things, new additions to my life are incredible. Like I would never thought I would be dancing with sneakers. And here I am performing a beautiful piece by Justin Peck in sneakers. So, these things are opening my eyes to what my future could be.
There's lots of new work to explore out there, but what was it like dancing in sneakers?
Very strange at the beginning. There's a certain feeling that you don't get with ballet shoes. It's like you feel so grounded. You in a way feel more powerful to move around, but yet you don't have the ability, for example, to point your foot all the way, and so that doesn't give you the strength to jump as high. So it's a very completely different way, and I just quite love that it gives you a different way of movement. And that's what I just love, to find new ways of moving your body.
And how was working with Justin Peck? And you've mentioned Wayne McGregor, and you've had leading roles created for you by Twyla Tharp and Ratmansky. What's it like working with those incredible artists?
I really loved working with Justin. I think he's such a beautiful human being. That it reflects in the studio when he's working with you. His work is very organic on your body, and just the humanity, the way he will talk to you in the studio. You will do anything for him. And it was a rush because we were at this festival in Vail, Colorado, and we only had 5 days to put a 15-minute piece together. And he created it so peaceful, and it was so smooth that we just couldn't believe it, how calm he was to create this 15-minute piece in 5 days.
Yeah, that's quite a timeline, isn't it? That's really quick.
Yeah, it is. And hopefully he will be doing things for ABT now, so we will work together again. But it's someone that I would love to keep working with.
And with all these different types of roles, you say the big classics and the new work, how do you have a particular way in which you prepare for your performances? As you mentioned, each performance for you is your next focus, and So I'm just interested if you've got a process that you go through.
Yes, I focus in the acting in every role, even if it's an abstract piece. For me, what drives me is that it's kind of like that acting that I can put into the role. And of course, for the full length ballets, to me, that's like 70 or 80% of the night, connecting with your partner and really delivering a story that people will believe. I wanted to make it believable, and that takes a lot. It takes a lot because you not only have to be that person, that role, that character, but you also need to make it believable with your partner. And unfortunately, in ABT, we don't have that much time to put things together. We rehearse only for a few weeks before we start our seasons. So it is a hard work here in the company to set all these ballets, but at the same time, I just love working that way and putting many hours in just the acting.
And as you say, you're with your dream company. Tell us, what does your average day look like if you have one?
Sorry, say that again?
What does your sort of typical day look like with ABT? You mentioned there's not much time.
We take our class at 10:15 in the morning from Tuesday to Saturday. And our rehearsals go until 7 p.m. without having a break. Sometimes you'll be lucky and you're not in a ballet, so you will have a moment to rest and have lunch. But usually we will rehearse from 12 to 7, and that would be a normal day. Of course, when you have the performance, you start at 10:15 again in the morning, you go until 5, and your show starts at 7 until 9 or 10. So there's a lot of hours there just for your career, for your passion, and we do that 5 days a week, 6 days a week when we have the shows, all year round. Like now I'm taking a break, but that's something that my girlfriend put together because I never do, and she was like, "You need a rest," and so I'm going on
forced holiday.
But, yes, because I need it not only physically but mentally. But it's long hours of training every day, all year long.
And as you say, it's your passion, it's your career, it's your love, it's your dream company. But how do you stay motivated when you have to get up sort of every single day and keep doing the same long hours and the same challenges?
Well, the motivation is that it's my passion. I mean, I wake up and, some people, sometimes when I have interviews, they say, "Oh, have you left things at home, or do you leave things that you like to do because of your dancing?" And no, my dancing is what I want to do. Being in these companies where I want to be. And so that's my inspiration every day, to be where I want to be. And, ABT is a touring company. So our office, in a way, it's around the world, performing in different theaters around the world. So it's unique, and it can't get better than that. So it's, like you said, it doesn't feel like work. And yes, you're working very hard, but when it's your passion, it's very fulfilling.
Absolutely. And the final question that I always love to ask, and particularly with your career, what advice would you have for other young male dancers who may be listening to this conversation and listening to your own journey and thinking, actually, I would love to be able to have a career as incredible as your own? What advice would you have for them?
Well, I think my advice is that, especially to these generations, to don't get distracted and really put attention to every single class, every single teacher, Because now when I think back, I think of corrections that I was given when I was 12, for example. And, every teacher will have something good to tell you and might not serve you in the moment, but maybe 20 years later, you're like, oh, I got that correction 20 years ago, and now I need it. So really put attention in every class and watch as much as they can. Rehearsals, performances. I remember when I was an apprentice that I wasn't dancing much. I will sit backstage and watch every single show of ABT with these amazing artists like Alessandra, Julio, Jose Carreño, Isan Estifo. And I would just watch every single show, and that will make you a better artist because you learn from watching.
Absolutely. That's such great advice. And again, congratulations on being awarded Dancer of the Year. And I hope you have an amazing time in Positano. And thank you so much for your time and sharing that wonderful story with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And for listeners, definitely check out Instagram, check out ABT to find out where the shows are coming near you. As mentioned, it's a touring company, so you should be able to get a chance to check out their performances soon.
Don't forget to subscribe. We've got some incredible interviews coming up with principal ballerinas and renowned choreographers. We love dance and ballet, and we hope you'll love us. Join us on Facebook and Twitter.